It is time to fall back, Bermuda. Daylight savings time comes to an end this weekend, so before you head off to bed on Saturday, be sure to set your clocks and your watches back by 1 hour. The official time change is Sunday morning at 2 a.m. So think of the seasons and fall back. The sun sets earlier, sure, but you get an extra hour of sleep. So this Saturday, wind those watches and clocks back. Just a friendly reminder brought to you by Bermuda Broadcasting.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Monday, October 29, 2018. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. One doctor is urging government to take action now in order for his patient to obtain medical marijuana to help treat her seizure disorder before it's too late. Dr. Kawan Brown, the physician of Natasha York, who we reported on last week after her financial assistance was revoked, has started a fundraising campaign to help keep a roof over her head. But he says what she really needs is access to cannabis. Viewers, be warned, some of the images we are about to show you are disturbing. Your discretion is advised.
It's the only treatment that works for her condition, according to her doctor, but it remains illegal to import marijuana for medicinal purposes. Natasha York is diagnosed with intractable seizure disorder.
Her prognosis is not good at all if this continues. As you can see from the 2.5-minute video, if people were able to watch the whole entire video, is that at moments throughout the episode, she stops breathing. And her daughter is there in one of the videos wiping her mouth, trying to keep it open, a 10-year-old daughter now, acting as a nurse and her caregiver, trying to make sure that her mother stays awake because she deals with this. So it's almost like common nature, but it's a horrible event.
Miss York's 10-year-old daughter filmed her mother's seizures without her knowledge. If these episodes continue unchecked, Dr. Brown says his patient's brain function will deteriorate further.
She's a much different person, and it's all because these seizures continue to go on. She can't remember, she's very forgetful, she's agitated at times, she comes across very aggressive, and that's not her personality by far. So it's not good. And one day, and I hope this day doesn't come, is that she won't wake up from this, because if you stop breathing for a few minutes, you're dead.
With cannabis, Miss York's seizures will be less frequent and may disappear entirely. However, the damage already caused is irreversible. But it's the hope that treatment now will prevent any further damage.
She's currently on 2 medications, of which she can't even afford now because she doesn't have financial aid and she doesn't have medical insurance. So the prescriptions I can't even give her, or she can't even have access to. And the medical marijuana, of which she has a license from the minister, and now the premier is saying that he's going to make legal in the part of the new year, she can't have access to.
So what does she own at this present?
Nothing.
Case in point, Dr. Brown received a message from Miss York's 10-year-old daughter at the weekend saying her mother had 4 of these seizures in one night alone.
If the legislation is passed in the early part of the new year, it's going to take about 3 to 4 months to actually harvest a crop. So we're looking at mid-year, almost to mid-year. And my patients don't have that long, unfortunately.
Miss York was recently evicted from her home after her financial assistance was revoked for traveling without informing the department, which is in breach of their policy. Right now, the plan is to fundraise to help her pay back rent.
In addition, I'm reaching out to financial assistance today to see what is the process and the plan and how we go about getting her reinstated with financial aid. And the last bit, I've reached out to the minister today, responsible, Michael Weeks, and I believe he's out of the office today, to see what we can do of getting her medication. How do we speed up the process of the United Nations and so I can import the medication for her.
Dr. Brown says a number of patients locally are in need of relief, not just Miss York. Dr. Brown has pledged that funds raised go directly to Miss York's landlord. So far, they have received $5,000 in donations. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Jasmine. In other news, enough is enough. That's the position of housekeeping staff at King Edward Memorial Hospital as they downed tools in protest of what they say is the poor treatment meted out to them by one of their managers. Mike Sharp has that story.
The workers reportedly downed tools shortly before 9 this morning and staged a sit-in over alleged bullying and high-handed tactics of a specific manager. They claim complaints to senior management have met with a less than favorable response, leading to today's industrial action. Contacted about the situation, a spokesperson for the Bermuda Hospitals Board issued a statement saying, quote, "There may be delays in housekeeping services today as irregular industrial action is resulting in less than the full complement of staff performing their duties. Management has not received any notice of action and efforts are underway to assess the extent of the interruption. It is understood the workers' representative, Bermuda Industrial Union, has been meeting with the BHB management to address a number of issues highlighted by the aggrieved workers. Chief among those issues is said to be bullying." Asked about this, Chris Furbett, president of the BIU, confirmed to us meetings were held last week to determine the workers' concerns, and it was agreed then that there would be ongoing discussions to have these concerns addressed. Mr. Furbett told us with that agreement in place, it was unclear as to why some 20 or so staff adopted this course of action. Elsewhere, the BHB spokesperson confirmed the industrial action by the housekeeping staff had not impacted clinical services. And I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Mike. Well, switching gears, real GDP grew 2.5% to $4.7 billion in 2017, according to figures just released by the Department of Statistics at the end of 2017. Gross national disposable income reached $6.4 billion. That's an increase of 4.1% when compared with 2016, due mostly to a higher GDP after adjusting GNDI for consumption expenditure. Gross national savings was measured at $2.1 billion, which represented an 8.9% increase year over year of the total savings. $858.6 million was spent on investment in capital goods, which positioned the Bermuda economy as a net lender to the rest of the world in the amount of $1.3 billion. The report highlights the impact of the 35th America's Cup on the economy, noting that the strongest growth was registered by the hotel and restaurant industry and the real estate and renting industry, which grew by $46.6 million and $21.9 million, respectively. Levita Fogo, Minister for the Cabinet Office with responsibility for government reform, says Bermuda experienced a relatively positive year in 2017 in terms of our GDP. While the report highlights the economic impact of the America's Cup, the reality is that this was a one-off event which cost the public purse $103 million. For the full report, you can follow the link on the screen on the Bermuda government website. We'll have more for you after this short break, including our Accuweather forecast. Stay with us.
U.S. Express at Mailbox's members love the fast, friendly service when they bring their online shopping to the island.
I enjoy the service because it's fast and I get my packages in good time, and I like how they shrink it so that you don't have to pay as much, and I get cashback rewards, which are great.
For me, it was about convenience. I work in town and convenience is the number one thing.
Sign up for a U.S. Express account at www.mailboxesunlimited.com today.
The new Toyota Rush, Bermuda's biggest SUV with 7 seats. There's always plenty of room. Available at Bermuda Motors.
From the very beginning, it was always our singular focus to do whatever it takes, use every possible resource to fight cancer, and never lose sight of the patients we're fighting for. Our cancer treatment specialists share the same vision. Experts from all over the world working closely together to deliver truly personalized cancer care. And these are the specialists we're proud to call our own. Expert medicine works here. Learn more at cancercenter.com. Appointments available now.
Welcome back. Word just coming in that following the intervention of BIU President Chris Furbett, hospital workers who staged industrial action today are now back on the job. In other news, Bermuda is mourning the death of veteran politician Gilbert Darrell, who passed away over the weekend at the age of 95. Mr. Darrell was a member of the Progressive Labor Party and later became chairman of the National Liberal Party. Charles Jeffers, a former NLP colleague, noted Mr. Gilbert was a man of the people and for the people.
When I think of Gilbert Darrell, I think of a person more than just a politician. I think of a man for the people, of the people, and for the people. I first met Gilbert Darrell, goodness, I'm almost afraid to say it, about 40 years ago or more. And what impressed me about him was how low-key he was, but sincere about Bermuda. He loved Bermuda, and he loved to make sure that young men of color got an opportunity to move up in this world. He was, to me, when it came to politics, a teacher and a mentor. When it came to politics, we actually met through the PLP. And it was after he was, like the others, thrown out of the PLP. I, of course, worked with him in trying to get people, all of the MPs and the other two restored, but that did not happen. John Swan saw an opportunity. He was the premier at the time, saw an opportunity, and of course called an election, and that's when the NLP was formed. We had spent about 6 months working, trying to get back into the party, and so I left the party and went with Gilbert Darrell and, of course, Walter Brangman, Lionel Simmons, and who was the other one? Austin Thomas. Yes, so it was really a traumatic time in Bermuda. But Gilbert stayed above the fray. He was always a man who was concerned about Bermuda. Bermuda came first.
And our sincerest condolences to the family and friends of Mr. Darrell. In court news, a Devonshire man was today charged in magistrate's court with having unlawful carnal knowledge of a girl, and a Southampton man is charged with attempted robbery. Jasmine Patterson brings us up to date.
A 57-year-old man is accused of 2 counts of sexually touching a girl while in a position of trust on unknown dates between November 2008 and September 2015. He's further accused of having unlawful carnal knowledge of the girl under 14 years of age on 2 occasions on dates between September 2012 and December 2017. The Devonshire man, who cannot be named for legal reasons, was not required to enter a plea, as the matter must be heard in the Supreme Court. Magistrate Tyrone Chin bailed the man in the amount of $10,000 with a like surety, and the defendant is ordered to have no contact with the victim. He's set to reappear during the December 3rd arraignments. Elsewhere, 20-year-old Southampton man Alex Wolf was charged with unlawfully wounding a bartender, Boris Angelov, threatening him and attempting to rob him on October 23rd in the Harbour Road area of Paget. The incident left the victim suffering from stab wounds in ICU with a partially collapsed lung and damaged kidneys. Wolf was also charged with threatening Javon Mallory on the same date. He was not required to enter a plea, as the matter must be heard in the Supreme Court. Magistrate Chin remanded the man, and Wolf is set to reappear at the December arraignments. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Meantime, inquiries are currently underway after a collision involving a male motorcyclist and a police vehicle occurred in the Horseshoe Road South Avenue, Southampton area near Southampton Rangers Club around 10 p.m. Sunday, October 28th, as the premises were closing. The rider, believed to be a 25-year-old Hamilton Parish man, apparently sustained non-life-threatening injuries, was transported to hospital by ambulance, but left before being assessed by medical staff. There were no other injuries reported. However, both vehicles involved were damaged. The scene has been processed by the relevant police personnel, and the circumstances of this incident are still being reviewed. Any witnesses are asked to call the main police telephone number at 295-0011. Turning to weather news, another beautiful day today. Hard to believe it's almost November. As you can see from this tower cam shot taken a bit earlier, it was a lovely sunset. Let's go to the experts at Accuweather headquarters to see what's coming up for the rest of our week.
Accuweather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to Accuweather headquarters.
This Accuweather forecast here on ZBM is brought to us by our friends at the BF&M Insurance Group. We are watching Hurricane Oscar. It's not that far away, but it is not going to directly impact us beyond producing some big waves and maybe a couple of high-level clouds. One thing that's kind of preventing us from dealing with much trouble is a front that has just barely pushed east of Bermuda, and that's going to act as somewhat of a brick wall to keep Oscar off to the east. There's another front behind it, so we are pretty confident that it will stay well to our east, and that is some good news. You can see the main shield of clouds tied to Hurricane Oscar is still to the southeast, and it's going to generally stay in that direction. It'll eventually pass to our east, but we do have some clouds of our own tied to our front that push throughout the course of the day. Showers have been pretty slim. There may be a sprinkle or two tonight, but the bulk of the night will be dry, as the main impulse that would have produced any widespread showers has pushed through with the front, and that was a pretty slim event for us. Temperatures are right around 77. We have a light wind from the north at 6 knots. Humidity is running 70-75% right now. Water temp holding around 74 degrees. On the inside, we have 1 to 2 foot waves, but there are big waves on the outside, and that is cause for a small craft warning that is in effect. So tonight, partly cloudy. Most of the clouds will be on the eastern part of the sky, or in the eastern part of the sky. At least that's the most widespread cloud batch nearby. We'll be dealing with a low around 72. There is a small craft warning through not just Tuesday, but into Wednesday afternoon, as Oscar will be making its closest pass at the middle of the week off to our east. Low tide is coming up at 7:22 tonight. High tide 1:04 a.m. late tonight. Another low tide around daybreak, 7:19 Tuesday morning, and then another high tide into the early afternoon. So boaters beware. Small craft warning. It'll be breezy out there tomorrow, but most of the day will be dry. Will be around 77 for our high, and lows around 66 tomorrow night. Futurecast shows Oscar churning away off to the southeast, and that's going to be drawing a little farther north, eventually passing to our east. But you can see our front that is off to the east of the island of Bermuda is really keeping this away from us, and then it will begin to accelerate and approach the northwest part of Europe as a post-tropical, cold, angry North Atlantic low. Around our area, we do have that wind from the northwest that will continue, and it will strengthen and increase a little bit later on this week. So as we look at the big picture, down into the Caribbean, scattered showers, more clouds into Jamaica. Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago are looking brighter. Some clouds, but generally dry there. And again, the only tropical beast on the map in the Atlantic basin is indeed Hurricane Oscar, which will stay off to our east. Across eastern North America, we're running cooler, but a little milder than yesterday, at least, into Toronto, New York, and Boston. Atlanta, 72 degrees, Miami, 84, and into London, showers and cool. These numbers here reflect the Tuesday high temperatures. And as we look at the 5-day forecast, pretty dry out there. There could be a few showers Friday night, but most of the time, a quiet, pleasant time from precipitation. There will remain a breeze, and there also will be some bigger waves out there. Back to you.
Accuweather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
I was diagnosed with illness. Very frightening because my son had just turned 1 and it was a cancer. So I'm young, new baby, and I needed to get the care that I knew would be definitive so that I wanted to be around for him for a very long time. I got in contact with BF&M, and BF&M was able to commit at that time to doing at least 50%, so we were comfortable, okay, well, we're gonna go. We got off the plane actually the day of the procedure, and on my way to the limo, my case manager called and she says, "Kiana, we got it, you're covered at 100%. And I cried all the way to the office because I was just so happy. The BF&M difference is that I really felt that the case manager really was concerned about my overall care, and because of that I really appreciated them. I think that personal care, that willingness to listen, and then to work until they were able to get it so that I could get full coverage really made the difference for me.
This is Rick Blomquist of De Pere, Wisconsin. His life is pretty comfortable. He lives in a comfy home, wears comfortable shoes. He even has a comfortable job. Rick Blomquist thought he had comfort all figured out. But then he laid on a Certa and realized his life was only just sorta comfortable. The new Certa iComfort Hybrid Mattress. Not just sorta comfortable, Certa comfortable.
Feel the difference, a good night's sleep.
At ProServe, we've got mail. Did you know at ProServe, we handle over 150,000 mail pieces per month. We have a full mail handler's license, secure, centrally located facilities, state-of-the-art digital printing, insertion, franking, and tracking systems. Even full mailroom operations management, along with experienced staff and the reliability to get your job done right. So whether the job is large or small, by hand or sprint pickup delivery, daily, weekly, monthly, or a one-off project, we've got you covered from start to finish with email confirmation. At ProServe, we've got mail. Call 295-7619 or visit proserve.bm and let's get it started.
Two men are bailed to drug treatment court after admitting to a string of burglaries. 33-year-old Jaron Douglas of Hamilton Parish pleaded guilty to stealing an $84 bottle of Hennessy from Henry's Pantry liquor store in Southampton on October 19th this year. He also admitted to stealing cash from the Swizzle Inn wall display in St. George's on October the 22nd, trespassing and stealing cash from the same place the next day. Elsewhere, 42-year-old Johnny Thompson admitted to trespassing multiple homes and stealing close to $30,000 worth of goods, including a $20,000 Rolex watch. Both men were bailed to drug treatment court. Police Commissioner Stephen Corbishley commented that burglary is one of the most traumatic crimes that can affect a victim, and their family offenders who carry out these crimes will be relentlessly pursued by the BPS, and the public should be reassured that we work extremely hard to target those responsible and bring them to justice, end quote. Well, it's almost that time of year for Christmas giving and cheer. Mike Sharp has that story.
The Salvation Army's annual food and toy drive will take place between November 9th and December 7th. The location for Christmas registration this year has changed to the Army's 10 North Street building across from Delwood. Registration for needy families is slated for November 1st through November 30th. The truck collecting food and toys will be parked outside the BIU building. The Salvation Army's new divisional commander, Major Sandra Stokes.
And what would Christmas be without toys? Toys are one of the joys of Christmas, not only for children, but especially for children, but also for mums and dads as well, as they are pleased to see the joy on the face of their children upon receiving such a toy. So we're happy to be doing the Santa Anonymous Toy Drive again this year. We invite the general public to look for our advertisements on this starting November the 9th, and all of the dates will be advertised there. Ages and elf numbers will be provided by staff as well. We'd like to inform you of our toy drop-off locations. For Central Hamilton area will be the Bank of Butterfield, the Commercial Bank, People's Pharmacy, and Annex. There were over 800 children served during this toy drive last year, so we know we will need toys. So we thank you in advance for your support in putting smiles on children's faces as they receive that beautiful toy that you will help us to give to them this coming Christmas.
Distribution will take place at the Botanical Gardens on December 17th for seniors and December 19th for the general public. The Army's Director of Public Relations, Cal Ming, reflected on those they were able to assist last year.
Over 800 children. Toys made a difference to them. And of course, in the region of 450 seniors, we were able to make a difference in their lives. These are the two vulnerable populations that we have in the island. So we encourage neighbors or persons who may know of persons in need, but sometimes reluctant to come forward, just to make a call to Kelly Edwards or the Salvation Army here, and we will make sure that they are directed to the proper place.
And I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Still to come, Roll Basin will have your weekend sports roundup in just a few minutes. We'll be right back.
Surface Trends has been serving Bermuda for over 25 years, supplying and installing tile and natural stone. We have a large in-stock selection of beautiful porcelain wood planking, including our exclusive Bermuda cedar tile. You will also find Bermuda's best in-stock selection of countertops, including natural granites, exotic quartzites, and silestone engineered quartz in all the newest colors. Our team will be happy to help you. Stop by our showroom at 17 Serpentine Road or give us a call at 295-8005.
We are the voices.
You are with the captain.
It's Mr. Midday.
12 new major news.
The big station.
The morning show.
The number one song.
The Faces.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight.
This is exactly what you're talking about. What an upset it was.
The Storytellers.
They are actually using the pepper spray.
Police are aware of this theory.
The water is 3,500 meters deep.
The tax climbs up to 12.5%.
The window on our community.
We bring you the best in U.S. television entertainment
And the greatest sporting events in the world.
A brilliant performance of Duffy.
We are the island's only Bermudian-owned broadcaster of both television and radio.
With the only TV channels that are available over the air in beautiful high definition, completely free.
We are always expanding.
We are always innovating.
And most important, we're always your station.
This is Bermuda Broadcasting.
Now here's Earl Bazin, who has a look at the weekend that was in sports.
For his performances back in 2006, Tyrone Smith has been inducted into the Missouri S&T Hall of Fame. During his career at the school, Smith was the NCAA Great Lakes Region's Field Event Athlete of the Year in 2006 during the indoor season, and later that year was named the Male Athlete of the Year, this after capturing conference championships in both indoor and outdoor long jump. The Bermuda Football Association's Premier and First Division League season resumed with a single game on Saturday and 9 games on Sunday that produced a total of 29 goals in the 10 matches played. Crossroads moved to the top of the Premier Division standings with a 4-1 victory over Devonshire Cougars, who have fallen to 8th in the standings. Crossroads would get 2 goals from Timon Daniels and a single strike from Donovan Thompson and Paul Simons, while Shakai Pearman scored the lone goal for the Devonshire Cougars. In other matches played, it was North Village Rams 0, BAA 1, Somerset Trojans 0, Paget Lions 3, Dandytown Hornets 2, Boulevard Blazers 3, and the match on Saturday featuring the PHC Zebras and Robin Hood ended 0-0. In the First Division at Bernard Park, the league leaders, Southampton Rangers, would continue their march toward promotion with a 7-0 win over Vasco. Dante Brangman would lead the way with a hat-trick, while Darius Cox added 2 goals. Jakai Hill and Markel Nisbet Tankard both scored a goal each. In other First Division play, it was Flanagan's Onions 0, Island Rangers 0, Wolves 2, St. George's Colts 1, Somerset Eagles 2, St. David's 0, Devonshire Colts 2, Young Man Social Club 1. Philip Mace and Maddie Durkin were crowned the male and female Aon National Sprint Triathlon champions at Southside yesterday. Mace had his hands full, having to overcome youngster Nicholas Pilgrim, who led the entire race until the final lap on the run, when Mace was able to have just a little extra in the tank to pull out the victory. Mace was clocked at 106.46, with Pilgrim second in 107.19, and Alan Potts finished third in 109.05. On the ladies' side, Durkin, who was the second female out of the water, took control of the race after taking the lead on the bike course. She would finish 8th overall with a time of 1:15.08. Louise Wells was the second female finisher and 10th overall, clocking 1:15.37. Amber Matha was the third female finisher and 13th overall at a time of 1:20.42. The Bermuda National Athletics Association's cross-country series hit the Fort Scour course on Saturday. Legend Stevenson won the girls 10 and 11 age group race when she stopped the clock in a time of 6:53.69. The boys 9 and under age group race was won by Maximilian Kimberly, who was clocked at 7:16.50. Jessie Marshall ran to victory in the girls 14 to 16 age group with a time of 23:49.11, and the women's 20 to 39 age group was won by Gail Lindsay, who covered the 3-mile distance in a time of 22:30.16. The men's 14 to 16 age group race was won by Ryan Otterbridge, who clocked 19:16.43. The Sylvia Eastleigh netball tournament came to an end at Bernard Park on Saturday evening. The Phoenix Heat were crowned the champions yet again under the direction of Coach Erica Russell. Even without the likes of Ebony Cox and Danielle Rayner, they came out winners with no losses. They were led to victory by Dominique Richardson, who played goal shooter, who usually plays center. Richardson showed her versatility and was assisted by Arkita Fubler and Eshe Grant. Finishing second was the Storm Thunder with 1 loss, 1 draw, and 3 victories. They were led to their second place finish with the likes of Nabila Nazir, who was assisted by Selah Tuzo and Kamala Nazir. The Bermuda Flag Football League winter season continued at the T.N. Tatum Middle School field with yet another triple header. A total of 76 points were put on the board between the 3 matches. The Black Sharks defeated the Bermuda Misfits 21-0. The Ex-Patriots went down 24-12 to nothing but D, and the Punishers defeated the Killer Squad 12-7. Week 5 of the Goal Point Archery Outdoor Shooting League had the archers competing in better conditions at Southside in St. David yesterday. Jaden Roberts had the top score for the week, this time recording a score of 503 points. Ernest McCallan was second with a score of 491 points, while Robert O'Connor finished third with 478 points. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Thanks, Earl. And how about those Red Sox last night, World Series champs? That's all from the news team for the moment. I'm Diane Brewer. Thank you for sharing your Monday evening with us, everyone. Hope to see you back here tomorrow night, same time, same place. Good night.
On the CBS